So let's just dive right in. Your company is locked into a multi-year UCaaS contract, right? Maybe it's RingCentral, maybe it's Genesys, but here's the problem. Leadership wants AI voice agents, and they want them yesterday. Now, the vendor's pitch is almost always the same. Just rip and replace everything. But what if that's the single worst move you could possibly make? In this explainer, we're going to break down the 3 real strategic patterns for integrating advanced AI without tearing down the system you've already painstakingly built.
And look, this isn't some theoretical problem. This quote from a VP of engineering at a 2,400-seat contact center gets right to the heart of it. They were looking at a penalty of almost $2 million just to get out of their contract and access the AI they desperately needed. But by choosing a smarter integration pattern, they completely sidestepped that fee and deployed a better solution in just over a month. I mean, this is the high-stakes game we're all playing right now.
The conventional wisdom, the one often pushed by vendors who are selling you their all-in-one platform, is that you have to start from scratch. They'll tell you that layering new tech on an old stack is impossible, or that the latency will be a total conversation killer. But is that actually true? Well, the short answer is no. Let's unpack the strategic alternatives they'd probably rather you didn't know about.
Okay, here's our roadmap. First, we'll define what we call the AI integration trap that so many companies fall into. Then, we'll walk through the 3 main integration patterns: native, external, and co-deployed. After that, we'll look at a vendor matrix, break down a real-world case study, and then wrap up with a simple framework to help you make the right call for your business.
So what exactly is this trap? Well, it's that moment of tension, right? When the urgent pressure to innovate with AI collides head-on with the hard reality of your existing infrastructure. You want the best new tech, but you're anchored to decisions and contracts that were made years ago.
And what's really interesting here is how all these things feed into each other. You're locked into a 2, maybe 3-year contract. Your agent desktops, your CRMs, they're all deeply woven in. And ripping all that out, that's a huge risk for operational downtime. But the real kicker is this. Your current vendor's built-in AI is often a full generation. We're talking 12 to 24 months behind the specialist platforms. So you're stuck between a rock and a very expensive, underperforming hard place.
All right, let's look at the first, and let's be honest, the most obvious path forward. Just using the AI that your UCaaS vendor already provides. This is the easy button they really want you to press. Think RingCentral's AI Pro or Dialpad's AiScribe. It's built right into the platform you already pay for.
So the pros here are really all about simplicity. You've got one vendor to deal with, one bill to pay, and it's usually the fastest way to get something up and running. But the cons, they are significant. Like we said, the AI is almost always lagging, you have very little control over the models or the prompts, and you're just digging yourself deeper into dependency on that single vendor for the long haul.
So here's the bottom line. Native AI is a perfectly fine choice if your needs are simple. I mean, if you're just looking to replace a basic IVR or handle simple FAQs, and your #1 goal is to avoid procurement headaches and just get a quick win, this is your path. But for anything more complex, you've got to look at the other options.
Okay, on to our second pattern, which is all about flexibility. This is where you decouple your AI from your phone system. You go out and you get a best-of-breed AI specialist, and then you connect it to your existing UCaaS platform using an industry-standard protocol called SIP. You can think of SIP as kind of the universal glue that connects different voice systems over the internet.
And this shows you exactly how it works. A call comes into your existing platform, say Genesys. It's immediately handed off or bridged over to that external AI agent. The AI does its thing, and then if it needs to escalate, it bridges the call right back to a human agent on that same UCaaS platform, passing along all the context. It's a really clean, logical handoff.
Now, this slide right here, this is the one that debunks the biggest myth. Incumbent vendors will try to scare you with claims of 300 to 500 milliseconds of added latency, which, would absolutely kill a conversation. But the measured reality for a properly configured SIP bridge is just 40 to 80 milliseconds. That's a tiny, totally manageable fraction of your total audio budget. It is a solvable engineering problem, not a deal breaker. The trade-offs here are pretty clear. The pros are powerful. You get the absolute best AI on the market, not just whatever your UCaaS vendor happens to offer. And, critically, you can swap out that AI provider later without touching your core phone system. The cons are manageable. You've got 2 vendors, a more complex compliance chain, and you really need to design that human handoff carefully. So here's the key takeaway for pattern 2. You choose this external, SIP-bridged approach when the quality and performance of the AI are what truly drive your ROI. If you need to stay agile and avoid getting locked into a single vendor's tech roadmap for the next 5 years, this is your strategic choice.
Our third and final pattern is definitely the most advanced. This is for organizations that want maximum control and have the engineering muscle to back it up. We're not just connecting two services here. You're running both the AI and the UCaaS components within the same cloud environment that you control. Amazon Connect with Lex and Bedrock is the classic example here. The pros are super compelling. You get the absolute lowest latency, often under 40 milliseconds, and a unified compliance posture since everything lives in your cloud. It's fully programmable. But the cons are just as stark. This requires a dedicated, in-house engineering team to own and operate it. You're swapping UCaaS lock-in for cloud provider lock-in, and the day-to-day operational complexity is much, much higher.
The directive for this one couldn't be clearer. Co-deployment is a powerful pattern, but it is not for everyone. You should only consider this path if you are an engineering-led organization that views your contact center as a product you build and manage internally rather than a service you just consume.
Okay, so we've covered the 3 patterns in theory. Now let's make this practical. How do these patterns actually apply to the vendors you're using today, and what are the real-world results you can expect?
This matrix is incredibly useful. It shows that pretty much all the major players, from RingCentral to Five9, offer their own native AI. But the crucial column is the second one. They also support SIP bridging. See, this is the flexibility they don't always advertise. It means you can use their native solution, sure, or you can bring in an external best-of-breed specialist. The choice is yours.
So let's circle back to that story from the beginning. This was a large business process outsourcer running on Genesys Cloud CX. And they were staring down the barrel of that massive $1.8 million contract buyout to get the AI they needed. Instead, they chose pattern 2, an external AI connected via SIP-bridge. And the results? I mean, they speak for themselves. They completely avoided the exit cost. They achieved an incredible 71% containment rate on their Tier 1 calls, which means the AI handled those calls completely end-to-end, and they went from kickoff to production in just 45 days. This just brilliantly illustrates the power of choosing the right architecture. It's not just about technology, it's about business outcomes.
Before we wrap up, there's one critical piece we have to talk about, especially for anyone in a regulated industry, like healthcare or finance: compliance. When you use an external AI, you're introducing new vendors into your call path, and that has serious security implications you simply cannot ignore.
Your data's journey is now a chain. The call might go from an AI voice platform to a separate large language model provider and then to your UCaaS platform. For something like HIPAA, this means you need a business associate agreement, a BAA, from every single vendor that touches that data. A single gap in this chain is a compliance failure, period. You have to map this entire flow out before you sign any contracts.
So let's bring it all together. Here is your final simple decision framework. If your absolute top priority is just simplicity, one contract for basic tasks, choose pattern 1, the native AI. If your priority is best-in-class AI performance and maximizing your ROI, you're going with pattern 2, the external AI. And finally, if your priority is total control and you have that dedicated engineering team, then you choose pattern 3, co-deployment.
And really, that's the crucial point to take away from all this. The conversation about AI shouldn't start with throwing out a multi-million-dollar investment. It should start with smarter architecture. You don't need to replace your UCaaS, you need to out-architect it.